Let's move on to the next one. Ravens at Steelers. It's going to be the battle for the AFC North. Didn't you hear about it? We got the 9-7 Steelers taking on the 8-8 Ravens. It's at Pittsburgh. The Steelers are going to be without DK Metcalf, and the Ravens are going to have Lamar Jackson back. And what a fall from grace for this division. Seriously. Over the past few years, this division has always been in the conversation to be one of, if not the most competitive division in football. Lamar Jackson, 2-time MVP, and the NFC can't stop him. Joe Burrow made the Super Bowl in his first healthy season and 2 AFC Championships, and he's Mahomes' kryptonite. The Steelers, who haven't had a losing season in almost 20 years with Mike Tomlin, and the Browns, who historically stink, but made the playoffs a few years ago, and even when they are 4-12, their vicious defense and Myles Garrett managed to pull off some pretty big upset wins over some good teams and maybe break some all-time sack records. But in all of that, each year, the Steelers, no playoff wins since 2017. The Ravens and Lamar, no consecutive playoff wins in a season. The Bengals can't protect Joe Burrow, and he has surgery on something every other year, and it looks like they're Andrew Lucking him. And the Browns are still the Browns. And now, the Ravens have a shot to win this division if they win this game, with a record of 9-8. To find the last 9-win team who won the AFC North, this division, you have to go back to 1990 with the Cincinnati Bengals, who were still playing the Oilers twice a year in this division. It would be the first time in 35 years that a 9-win team managed to win this division. And it just goes to show how disappointing this division is, not only this year, but year after year. And why people feel whoever wins this division and wins this game will lose in the first round to the Texans, the Chargers, or the Bills, because there's no upside for either team and they're not in that tier. Rodgers was looking great, but now without DK Metcalf, he looks lost. And just when you think Lamar is healthy, he's back out again, and there's media drama about him and Harbaugh and the team potentially trading him. Like, what are we doing here in the AFC North, and why are we not finding success like we should be? Both teams have defenses that were inconsistent at points this year, but have been better in recent weeks and are now the strength of both teams. Pretty classic. AFC North, Ravens, Steelers. On offense, both teams are messy ultimately. The Steelers mustered 27 points last time against the Ravens, but will now be without DK Metcalf again. And for the Ravens, Lamar is practicing again, but he's 3-6 all time versus the Steelers and 2-3 in Pittsburgh. They scored 22 points last time and lost versus the Steelers team this season. A fall from grace compared to their 2024 playoff dominant win over Russell Wilson. Now, Henry did go off last week versus the Packers, and at least that's good to see. But in the matchup this year versus Steelers team, he was bottled up for 3.8 yards per carry and less than 100 yards. I feel like a tie is almost in order for this game. It just seems like it's going to be this hideous game where no one can execute a third down in the critical situations, and it's going to be a tie like 13-13. But I'll pick. And to me, the edge has got to go to the Steelers. Based on purely history, really. The Ravens looked so much better last week, but who says 2026 is going to make any more sense than 2025? Somehow, some way, Rodgers is going to find a way to win this game. And I feel like there are some pretty big variables here. Does TJ Watt play? Does he not? He's a big reason Lamar doesn't play well against the Steelers. If he's not in there, I would definitely pick the Ravens. But if TJ Watt plays, I think the Steelers are going to win, even without DK. Just because I trust what Rodgers is going to be able to do with Arthur Smith on the offensive side to execute in those crucial fourth quarter drives that they're going to end up in inevitably in a close game. I trust that more than like a Ravens offense that just doesn't know what to do when they're losing or there's a neutral game script. And it's just been this messy year. You know, I'm not saying it's not possible, right, for the Ravens to win this game if TJ Watt plays, but it's very possible because the Steelers are going to be in a situation where they're vulnerable to turn into that Ravens team where they just can't do anything and they score like 10 points. But I just think that's not going to be the case because the Ravens defense has failed to show up versus the Steelers too. And so I think Rodgers finds a way and gets it done for a Steelers win to secure the playoff spot, 20-17. Should be a very interesting game, and I can't wait to see what ends up happening there. So